Welcome to The Real CO.
I'm Cindy.
And I'm Olivia.
And we're here to talk about our truths,
our opinions,
and our perspective
in the world of health.
Can't stop, won't stop. Where the brakes at? I give him that ditty bop.
All right, so we're back with episode number 5.
Sorry, I was playing with my hair from 1991.
She's missing her big earrings.
I know, I am missing those.
She is so cute.
It's my short hair.
I know. I was just going to say, I love it. I think it's so cute.
That's so sweet. Do you know how long I've had that hair?
How long?
Well, it hasn't been short in 23 years.
Seriously. See, oh my gosh, I wish I was like that. I want to, every time my hair gets long, I'm like, chop it off, or I'm going to get dreadlocks. That's what I keep telling my girl Renee. She's like, you're not getting dreadlocks. I'm like, yes, I am.
I would do that.
I would do it too. I hate washing my hair.
Well, I don't. I just think it's hot.
Well, I know.
I like the little twists and the,
yeah.
You know.
You put little jewels and stuff in them?
Yeah, little shells.
We need to be hippies.
We might before this is over.
That's right.
So, check out our shirts because we're getting closer to the launch of Elevate Wellness. So we thought we'd wear those. Countdown. Remember to get on the waiting list. You can reach out to me and I can also send you the
link. What does
that? That means pull the clown car over. So anyway, just make sure that you're watching for that. You're going there. You're putting your information on there.
Yes, and we'll have somebody from my office. Sounds weird for me to say that. Contact you and get you put on the schedule for our launch date on April the 4th. So, woohoo! And we'll talk about. We're going to do an open house too.
Mm-hmm.
The weekend. The weekend before
everybody
that.
to come. Prizes.
Uh-huh.
You might be able to even win a package to work with us both. We're throwing things out there, so just be watching for the hard launch. We don't do nothing soft.
No,
hard launch.
Going for it.
We're just hitting it. So today's topic
is how we touched on this on the last episode, but just as far as tracking your food goes. There's a way to do it, and there's a way to
lie about it.
Yes. And so what you do is up to you, but I would say if you're working with somebody, we're not going to beat you in the head with anything. We don't care. We're just here to help you. So track so we know we don't live in your pockets, guys. Tell us what you're doing.
It only hurts you, and we were talking about this earlier. Listen, a lot of times when you track, you're selective tracking. You don't enter your morning creamer.
No, yes. And it all adds up. It does.
You grabbing that handful of whatever, like nuts in the middle of the afternoon. You got to enter that. When you are eating the last little bit of food off your toddler's high chair,
yes,
you have to enter that.
Yes, it
adds up. It counts. So, and believe it or not, like we talked about on the last episode, you have a basal metabolic rate. There is a numerical cutoff to where your body's like, well, you're not losing body fat now.
Mm-hmm.
And you hit that so easy. It's not like there's this magical 500 calories that you can just play around with until your body's ready for that. So you've got to, and so back in the day, because our favorite tracker is the same.
Yes, MyFitnessPal.
MyFitnessPal. We both love that. But back in the day, because I just looked this up. MyFitnessPal came out in 2005, and it started at myfitnesspal.com. That's where I had people go. It was before there was apps. So you had to go to myfitnesspal.com, and you entered things, and it's just so much more amazing now. But before that, you had to have a food diary.
Mm-hmm.
You had to have a notebook for Cindy Brown to check it. You had to have your calories, your fat, your carbs, your fiber. And, I've really never cared about fat because, like I said, if all your other numbers are there, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Well,
you're thinking. I can tell. You're
the only reason is because I
just mean most people don't do low fat. If you hit those numbers, then you're going to, I don't worry about.
You're going to hit that fat.
Yes.
You don't have to intentionally hit your fat.
Correct. Because you don't.
Yeah, you're right.
You don't have to try to hit that. It's there.
Yes,
exactly. So I've never worried about it because I had to reverse them from the fat-free era
Yeah.
to where they weren't eating any fat and they were eating all carbs. And then all of a sudden we went to no, we went to Atkins, which was all protein and fat, no carbs. And then we switched it around to the keto, which is all fat, little protein, no carbs.
Yes.
It's like, wow, that's the whole era of what it went. So the reason I never focused on fat, because I was like, as long as you're getting enough carbs and enough fiber and enough protein, the rest of your calories are coming from
your fat.
Yeah, which
you're absolutely right.
Cared.
Yeah, that's a good way. I didn't understand that first, but when you say it like that, yeah. Even like your chicken, like which is a primary source of protein, has fat in it, so you don't have to intentionally hit that fat. It just comes with the food you're eating.
Yes.
So yeah,
and depending on and it's all generational. So a lot of times, I think everybody doesn't get enough protein. Period.
Yes.
But some people are all carbs are bad, and other people that are probably more in their 50s are still doing fat-free because of the whole fat-free era. And that was all high carb, which is what started all the inflammation and diabetes. But then it went to, it turned into the massive amounts of yo-yoing.
Nobody knows what to do anymore. Everybody was confused. So we're here to help clear that up. But it starts with getting an idea of what your day-to-day looks like, and that's by tracking your food.
Yeah, and it's okay. And I usually tell people, because when you start tracking it, I don't want you to be good.
No.
I want to know what your average day is.
Thank you. Yes. Don't
clean it up.
No, just eat. Be you.
Be you. But you know what? When they start tracking it, they can't. They're like, oh my gosh. Like by lunch, I was like, okay, we're not eating the rest of the day. I'm like, no, like you've got to just finish it out. And they're like, I don't even want to see that.
Chris,
right?
Yeah, Chris is laughing over here. What do you have to say about this?
No,
is this
right? I plead the fifth.
You're feeling conviction?
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm like, I got, y'all put me on. Cindy put me on 2,200 calories. I'm like, I swear, I probably like 15,000 calories. Going through with my job, I'm in the drive-through.
Yeah.
That's easy to do. You don't realize. I go now. I look. I'm like, that's 1,200. I can't eat that the rest of the day. Like everything is that high.
Yeah.
You can't eat healthy hardly.
No.
Oh, you can.
Sorry.
No. So like so get this. When I'm working with people that have hormone issues, I have to have them eat like 8 times a day and lower the caloric intake at a sitting because their body can't manage it.
Yeah.
So when I do that, like I have a whole list of foods that you can eat for 200 calories, like food.
Yeah.
Like, you can have a whole thing of green beans and a salmon burger. Like that's a meal.
That's a good meal.
You know what I'm saying? Like you've got to learn to eat foods and if you're doing lean amounts of protein and veggies, you can do that. 2 tablespoons of peanut butter is still less than 200 calories, so you can. And that's really how I have to work with them if I didn't have her help, because if their hormones are really messed up, then it's still the same amount of calories going in. But the problem is processing them at the moment. Their bodies just don't want to take that much without storage.
Yeah.
So I have to, it's work. You got to backtrack that. But the whole point is you can eat more. That's why go to, Chick-fil-A, you can have you just got to go through the drive-thru alone. You literally can't go with someone else ordering the other stuff, get their grilled nuggets and get a lot of them,
Yes.
Get a lot of them.
That's it. It's like, oh my gosh, your portion sizes of the right foods. You feel like you've had a ton to eat. It's satisfying.
Exactly. So there's one. And you know what? I love a good Wendy's chili.
Oh, you know what? I do too. I forgot how much I love their chili.
I love their chili.
Really good. And I bet it's got good fiber.
It does have good fiber and protein. Yeah. Okay. Not a lot of carbs, but there is carbs in the sauce. People don't realize tomatoes are a carb. So there's another one. Like you can. It is just work.
Yeah.
It's hard.
And it might be a little hard.
And looking ahead at the menus and stuff, like, okay, well, what's going to fit? I'm going to be out in this area. There's this food restaurant, fast food restaurant out there and
Right.
look at their menu. I'm going to go ahead and plug that in the day before.
Yep.
So it's a decision you don't even have to make.
Yes.
You've already made that decision. Everybody's like, oh, it's stressful to
Done.
track
No,
my food.
it's
No, it isn't.
done.
Right.
When you
Yeah.
get home from Sam's or my favorite Costco, pre-baggy your stuff.
Yes.
So it's done. We already talked about our snacks. We got
Yeah.
our snack bags.
Yep.
They're ready to go.
Yeah.
We got them all packed and we know what they are and we don't have to worry about it. Like
Nope.
just do that. So like, I mean, I don't know. You want to hear about my lunch?
Yeah.
It's in my Fitness Pal. I didn't even know we were talking about that. Because, we freestyle a little bit. So I am still detoxing a little from Mexico. And that's an all-inclusive. And we all-inclusively don't talk about what we eat there. Okay. But we're back and we're working on building the
yeah.
the glutamus maximus.
Yeah.
And where's my Fitness Pal? Okay, so I was craving pizza.
Okay.
I was craving some pizza. And so what I did was, most of you all know that I love those extreme wellness wraps that are high fiber.
Yes.
So I took 2 of those, tomato and basil.
Okay.
I just a dollop of olive oil, put it on there, put it in the oven while I was prepping everything else.
Okay.
Then I took, so there's these chicken sausages that I love. They're Jones, and they're a big bag of them. I get it from Costco. So 3 of those, I air fried those.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, those were in there.
Mhm.
And then I took a little pizza sauce. I pulled them out, put a little pizza sauce. I did a 1/4 cup of mozzarella, cut up my chicken sausage, put that on there, and some crushed red pepper, shut it back in the oven. So let's talk about totals on that.
Okay,
Because
yeah, that
I
sounds
cannot
delicious.
believe, because I was crazy. And it was. So it was 390 calories.
Okay.
Okay, I had 2 of them. It's great. It was 40 grams of protein.
Uh-huh.
Okay, it was 41 carbs minus 23 fiber.
Boom.
Holla,
That's what I'm talking about.
holla. Oh, get this: 4 grams of sugar
Did you take a picture of this?
For-
back in-
and 21 grams of fat. Nobody cares about fat because all my other numbers are great.
Yeah.
Don't care.
Oh my gosh, that sounds really, really good.
Yeah. So, and that was
40 grams of protein
Yes.
in those little, yeah.
Oh, and they weren't little. They were like this.
Yeah.
And I just sat. I was like so happy and so good.
Yeah. And so you feel like you had an enormous meal from that.
That I mean,
And it was
I,
like 4
I
ingredients.
contemplated, Cindy, you probably should only make 1, but it's only 390 calories for 2.
Yeah.
So let's just pop in 2.
Yeah.
And it's the middle of the day.
And you're trying to build a butt.
And I'm trying to build it up. So,
we can get that recipe and we'll put it on Instagram later.
there we go.
Oh, perfect. That's a
So
good idea.
easy. Yeah. And I like the tomato and basil and wrap ones are just a little more. But
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, that's so simple.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and it entered perfectly.
So let me ask you this. So there are some discrepancies. Like some people say weigh your food, some people say don't weigh your food, eyeball your food.
We're on
What
a
do you
little.
do?
Okay, so we're on this little group text, and
Okay.
Chris bought a new food scale, and he's like, okay, because he's doing well. He's
I'm
trying to enter his food.
Yes.
And
Right.
no.
Yes.
And so I'm like, I don't do that.
I didn't
so-
say anything. I was like, oh, shit.
Because I get a big bag of, boneless frozen chicken breast.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's frozen. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to eat one of those.
That's
How
what
much
I
is
did.
that? Scan it. That's good enough for me.
Yes.
Because in all honesty, okay, so get this. When I taught nutrition classes, we know the macros. We know it's 4 calories for, a carb, 4 calories for a protein, and 9 calories for a fat.
Remember
But
that.
I had them break down the labels because it can be wrong
Yeah.
up to
Oh,
a certain amount.
100%.
So
yes.
their job was to take a label, do the multipliers,
Mhm.
and come back in and let us know how much it was off or if it wasn't.
Mhm.
Because I like for companies to round up. It's safer. If it's supposed to be, if it's 95 calories and it says it's 100, I like that company. I feel like they're more honest.
Yeah.
But we've had it be off as much as 60.
Wow.
And that's
When
almost
when you
illegal.
multiply out that, yeah.
You know why? Because what they'll do is they'll finagle it.
Yes.
They will totally take the fiber, remove the calories because
Mhm.
technically you don't absorb
Mhm.
fiber calories, and then they'll be off in the other areas.
Yeah.
So they can drop it up to 60 calories.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So that was actually one of the things I want to talk about with tracking.
Okay.
Is that,
here we go.
well, it's like, a lot of people, when they're tracking their food, they're scanning these things and they're assuming that
They're
what they're
accurate.
scanning is the right thing, and it isn't. You have to pay attention to that. If, for example, I scanned something the other day, I put it on my Facebook group, but it was like, it said that it was, I forget how many calories and 0 carbs. It was like, what was it? I want to say it was like it was a pizza. That's what it was. It was a pizza. I'm like, hello, that's not right. So you have to critically think a little bit when you're scanning stuff in and think that doesn't look right. And if not, look at the calories that's actually on the nutrition label, and then
just know.
compare that.
And here's what I'll tell people too. And they're like, well, because I've got so many of you all, and they're just like, well, when I go somewhere, it's always the, what if this happens, so I can't do that?
yeah,
Well, what if I go somewhere and I don't know the calories that are in that?
Well,
Why is that the first question when I'm telling you
Yeah.
to track your calories? Are you automatically giving me? So you know what I say?
Yeah.
Oh, like what? Chicken and dumplings? Okay.
Yeah.
I type in chicken and dumplings and I go through and I'm like, okay, do you see this? And there'll be one for like 280 calories. We're going to go down to the 860 calorie one and you're going to plug that in. Well, how do you know that it was that? We're going to always assume it's the highest one on there if you don't know.
yeah,
At that point, they want to know.
yeah,
At that point, they're more selective
Yep.
and they're paying more attention. So that's what I tell people. It's always best to overestimate because we can work with that. If you underestimate, you're giving yourself false hope.
Yeah.
If we overestimate and we come back in to do a check-in and we know some things are off, but if you type in Costco samples, it'll pop up.
Yeah.
And I enter that every time I go to Costco.
A lot of restaurants have their menus uploaded in MyFitnessPal.
Oh,
So,
everything does now. Yeah. My Costco samples, like when I go through and eat them, it averages 400 calories.
Yeah.
Which is probably correct.
Mhm.
I go there to buy my stuff and I'm like, woo, free meal.
That's why we go to Sam's on Sunday. I'm like, kids,
Well, yes.
here's your Sunday
They're
lunch.
so excited about the samples.
But go ahead.
No, I was going to ask you, so do you tell people to overestimate?
I typically do. Yeah. I'll tell you what I do a lot of times if you're looking for accuracy is when they're tracking their food, I'll say, okay, if you're eating a cooked chicken breast, for example, type in cooked chicken breast USDA behind it. So if it has the USDA behind it, most of the time it's going to be a little bit more accurate. Or if it's got, some of them have like that little check
mark, certified.
Yeah, exactly. So it's been checked and you can pretty much rest assured that it's going to be okay. But if you're in it, and I think it's important either way, but I would say if someone's actively trying to lose body fat and they're like, I can't get anywhere with it, that's when this comes in to be more so the case. Yeah. Is that you want to overestimate because chances are you're probably eating more calories than you are actually tracking.
And that is most of the time anyway. And here's the other thing, guys. I know that people pick a lot of these fad diets so that you don't have to enter anything. But, and I get that. I understand it's work, but everything, if you've got a child, and you want to raise a decent human being, that's work. If you want a good marriage, oh my gosh, that's work. If you want good health, that's work. So you just kind of have to weigh that out. If you didn't put any effort into raising your child or any effort into your relationships, any effort into your health, that's kind of what you get. So we know it's a little bit more work, but you have to know, it's math. Yeah. Health is math. Mm-hmm. Your body burns energy in a numerical form.
Yes. Yep. And you should want to learn this so that way you're not dependent. We've said this before. You're not dependent on either one of us for the rest of your life. We want to fix you and move you along.
And here's the other thing.
I'm glad to keep you, but
I know.
That's our goal.
But like you might have your best friend. She may be able to have more carbohydrates than you.
Yes.
And you know what? You may be able to have more fat than her. Like there are some people, and I'm being very honest, that put on muscle quick, size quick. So they have to have more carbs than their protein is still high, but their carbs really have to be high because if like they can put on mass easier.
Yeah.
So, and the women that can't have to get their protein on point. Like, and that helps us figure out your numbers. We don't hand you a manual and say, okay, here's your manual. We're going to train you the same way we do everyone else.
It's not cookie cutter.
It's not cookie. That's why we have to have those numbers to see how, has your body changed, right? Okay, let's look back at what you've done and make adjustments now.
Yeah.
And you just, you just can't do it without knowing what went in.
Yeah, exactly. So this is just so much fun.
I know. I love this topic. I just don't know where we're at on time, and I just got super paranoid.
19 minutes in.
We got 19
minutes in.
Yeah, so.
Okay.
I
know y'all were going to talk about the difference. I know Olivia says she pays for it, and Cindy said, don't we pay for it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So why don't y'all talk about that?
Okay. So I upgrade. I've been accused of being OCD. Okay. I've never been diagnosed, accused. So on MyFitnessPal, you can upgrade to premium. And I think this is helpful for people who are, especially as we mentioned earlier, protein is hard for, in particular, women to hit, I think. Men too, depending on how they've been brought up or what their meals or what their family's
hard.
like. It is hard.
Yeah.
Well, and men require more because you're larger.
So much more.
Yeah.
So it's hard to hit. So on MyFitnessPal, you can't see this,
no,
can you?
but we can do screen record, and then I can try to add this on later.
Okay. Okay, I'll do that right now. Screen record. I figured how to do this just the other day. So I upgrade because, as you can see on the top of my screen, I can see my carbs, fat, and protein at the top, and then those would equal my calories over in the top or in the side. I don't look at my calories when I'm tracking food. I'm just trying to get as close as I can on my macros and I try to stay within 10 in the negative or positive of my carbs, 10 in the negative or positive on my protein, and fat within 5. Again, I don't have to try hard to hit fat because fat naturally comes with every other food that I eat. So when I'm scanning my foods, this is almost like a little bank account. So it deducts from here at the top so I can see what all I have left to eat. Now, if you want to keep it free, it's easy. It is easy.
What you do is you just enter your food, you scroll to the bottom of your page, and you hit nutrition. A lot of times it's on this little calorie, which is like a circle where your calories coming from, or most people hit macros. You already know I don't like macros because I feel like fiber is a 4th macro, so I don't care. I hit nutrients in the middle. Bam. It gives me my protein and my goal for the day. So I'm still supposed to, my carbs and my goal for the day, my fiber, my goal for the day, sugar, fat, sat, poly, mono. So I just keep it on nutrients the whole time. And that's really all I care about. I mean, I enter my food, but I'm constantly scrolling to the bottom and just hitting bam, nutrition. And a lot of people don't realize that it's right there in the middle. You've got calories, nutrients, and macros. It's the middle one, nutrients. And I just leave mine on that all day long. And when I go through and check your food diary, I'm not looking at what you ate. I don't care. I don't care if you went through Taco Bell or if you grew it in your backyard. I don't care. Yeah. And people have such a hard time with that.
I know. I'm like, eat the cheeseburger.
Eat it. I want to see the label. I want to see at the end of the day, what were your numbers?
Yes.
And people were like, really? Like, that's all? That's so hard for me to do. But the problem is you're seeing us for a reason. And we're telling you, this is how we work. I mean, which is crazy because we both work that way with mathematical numbers, but that is how, and it's just no matter whether you want to lose weight, whether you want to get toned, whether you want to build muscle, no matter what it is you want to do, train for a marathon, these numbers mean everything.
Yeah. I want to say too, real quick. I'm sorry. We still doing okay? Time-wise? Okay. So I think a lot, again, people track foods because in their mind, they're talking about like weight loss. And this goes into play with like your reverse diet. And even if you're trying to put on muscle, because in order to put on muscle, you have to be in a surplus.
Yes.
You have to be. So if you're like me and you're eating intuitively and you're like, well, I'm eating in a surplus. No, you're not, because your body's telling you, at this point, your body's telling you what it needs. So you're just eating to maintain. you have to push beyond that comfort zone, and tracking your food will help you do that to ensure you're actually eating the calories to achieve the goal of muscle growth.
And if we hear, or I mean, I know me personally, if I hear, oh, I'm just not hungry, I don't care.
No, don't care. Don't care. Eat it.
Eat it anyway. I don't care you're not hungry.
Like,
Talking to your kids.
Yeah.
You're going to sit there and you're going to eat it all. Okay?
Yes. Like, I don't care if you're not hungry. You have to get your calories up. And that's, again, where we talked about last week with, your higher fatty foods.
Yeah.
Because you can eat less of it. And that's why I've never cared about fat. I use fat as a filler.
Yeah.
Because
that's
so many
true.
people undereat
Yeah.
that I save the fat for the filler because, they're still got the mindset.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's kind of where that comes in. If you've seen at the end of your day, because I never tell them to watch their fat. I didn't want my fat too high, or I didn't want this. A lot of times people will choose fat almost, I believe, over fat or carbs over protein.
Oh, for sure.
So like you can have this amazing protein, but it's all covered in fat and gravy, and you think you're getting enough protein from that, and you're really not. And then we look at your numbers. So a lot of times when I'm really working on someone hitting their protein number and their fiber number, because a lot of times I really don't talk a lot about carbs. I just kind of say, try not to go over this if your fiber's not high enough.
Yeah.
I don't care about fat. When they come in, they're like, well, it was just too hard to hit that. Well, here's all your peanut butters. Are you allergic to nuts?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Here's all your peanut butters. I can have that at night. It's a protein. Your body's not going to store any of it. Yeah, it's a fatty protein.
Yeah.
Eat it up.
Yeah.
If you've got to eat 3 tablespoons, we don't feel sorry for you.
No, I want to eat 3 tablespoons of peanut butter.
But yeah, so that's yeah. I don't even know what happened there. I don't know where I went.
I forgot. Okay, weighing your food. The only
Weighing your food.
The only reason I do choose to weigh my food, and again, accused of being OCD, me.
No, I think it's great.
But only because it helps me ensure that I'm getting the right portion size. Eventually, could I eyeball my food and get pretty close at this point? 100% I could. And I think that would be my goal for everybody, is that like if you go out and eat a steak, that's about 6 ounces of steak.
Yep.
And you just track that.
Or you order it. I want the 6 or the 8. 8, please.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
I'm like 25.
And would
The
you
25-ounce steak.
in regards to tracking, would you agree at some point, once you get someone to maintenance and they've been kosher for a while, you don't have to be a slave to My Fitness Pal.
The only
don't.
reason you would do that is after Christmas, when you put on that 5 to 7 pounds
Yep.
and you want to get it off, go
Tighten
back
it
to
back
the
up.
knowledge get it off, and then go back to maintenance mode. Maintenance is so much easier. You have a natural 5-pound flux.
Yeah.
You really do. You always look best at obviously the lower end of that 5 pounds, but then you give yourself that in life, and that's kind of a natural. Like, and most people say it's so hard to lose that last 5 pounds. Well, the problem is that that's our natural flux.
Mhm.
You don't want to go back to entering it if it's 5 pounds. You just want to try to do that on your own,
Yeah.
and we know that. But if it's more than 5 pounds, like people will be like, okay, I'm ready to track again.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's all you got to do. I know it's a pain, but it works. So can we just agree it works?
Yeah.
And then maybe at some point, I mean, I've got a lot of people that are intermittent fasting, which I'll throw this out there because I really think we should talk about this next week.
Yeah, I agree.
I sat at a table with a couple before we were leaving, and I kept my mouth totally shut, and they were intermittent fasting. And and I kept my mouth totally shut. And if you're doing that and you've seen results, please tune in next week. That's all I'm saying.
No, honey. Yeah, results that lasted, like
because
you can do
if
this your whole life.
If you want to debate, and if you want to debate that, I'm taking you on vacation with me, and I want you to have breakfast with me, and I want you to have a snack with me, and I want you to have lunch with me, and I want you to have a late night snack with me too, and I want you to have a couple drinks, and we're going to do that for 5 days, and we're going to see who gains the most weight.
Yeah.
That's the theory on that one. Anyway,
We don't love intermittent fasting.
I totally pulled that over.
Pulled the
Right.
Pulled the car over. Let's talk about our gas station.
Yeah,
goodie.
gas station goodie.
So
I gotta fix my.
this came from the Bullitt County Supermarket. Thank
Were
you,
we supposed
Tony.
to say that?
Oh,
It's
No.
all right.
oh shoot! Can you edit that?
No, there is
If we
no
can't
editing.
edit it, we're still too new. Nobody cares now.
All those
Maybe we'll
grippos.
clean up the first few in a year.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But nobody cares about it right now. We're good.
I'll just let you know, every time I go to the gas station, I can't find any of the things y'all
Are
find.
you serious?
Yeah,
Are you serious?
Yeah, I can't find those one.
People are buying them all.
That's what.
Yeah, all right.
But we can
influencers.
order them straight from the company, and they can send us a box, and we can hand them out to everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
At
totally.
hard lunch.
There you
Yes.
Hard
Yes.
lunch.
I think that's a good
soft.
idea.
I don't like soft lunches. We're just gonna kill it.
These are pork rinds. They're
go. Pork
grippos.
rinds.
And I'm like, okay, I think these are
Okay.
commonly overlooked.
Ready?
And this is spice.
Oh, I hope they're
I think.
spicy.
They're spicy.
So you can have a quarter of the bag for only 80 calories. So we can eat this whole bag. And then you're at 4.5 grams of fat. Out of that, check it out, 2.5 grams of mono unsaturated fat. They broke the fat down on here. 0.5 gram of poly, 1.5 sat. 0 trans fat.
Okay. There
Kill
go.
you death fat. That's what we call trans fat. Kill you death fat. Carbs are 0, which obviously it means fiber 0, but you're still getting 8 grams of protein in a quarter of the bag.
Yeah.
So you know what? Eat that and drink FiberWise.
There you go.
And you-
That's
it-
balance right there.
It's an awesome balance.
Yeah.
You've got your fat, your protein, and then you're drinking your fiber and carbs. Like you're done.
These things never smell good. They remind me of a dog toy.
Stop.
I'm not gonna lie.
Stop. How am I supposed to eat that now?
Oh.
You know, like I buy more bully bones. We know what that is, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds great.
Does it sound horrible?
It's like nails on the
This
chalkboard.
really isn't fried pig skin, right?
Yes, it really is.
No, it's not. I'm gonna.
You have to get past that.
Can you describe the taste,
We're
everybody?
talking about mental blocks. We gotta get up out of that.
Okay, so this reminds me of cracklins. Spicy cracklins at the bottom, because I've never eaten pork rinds in my life, believe it or not. Let's say you went and got some Captain D's.
Yeah.
At the bottom are going to be some cracklins. These are actually turn a little softer, but there's a moment in time when you're eating these that reminds me of the cracklins at the bottom of the Captain D's fish.
Yeah. Well, you know, people crunch these up and actually batter their meats and stuff and their fish and stuff in. They really do. Yeah. For added protein. It's not bad.
I eat with my mouth open. I'm sorry.
Put the little blur emblem over you. Censor.
Censored.
Parental advisory. Cindy has no manners. So anyway, this is a great little grab and go, especially if you got your fiber on the go and you got it and you're drinking it and you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot food.
Yeah.
Pork rinds and FiberWise is going to be one of the most perfect snacks that you can eat. Macro, gotta eat
I'm
the whole
probably gonna
bag
eat this
though.
one.
But how much can I eat? They eat the whole bag?
You can eat the whole bag if you
You
drink
can
your
eat the whole bag.
FiberWise,
So
and
that's
it's a balanced.
And 24 grams of protein.
I mean, exactly. That's what I'm saying. 20, and it's low. You're looking at, is that an 8? Yeah. And again, you're looking at only 240 calories. You're looking at 300 calories. What did I tell you all? The most amount of food for the smallest amount of calories is what, obviously then you can eat massive meals when you work it up to like 4 and 5,
That's me.
But if you've got a whole thing of FiberWise and a whole bag of some spicy pork rinds, I am ready to go to the theater.
Let's do it.
Well, you know what I'm saying? What is coming
We got
out?
a final
Jurassic Park is coming out with the final one. Did you see that? Okay, sorry. All my kids were into dinosaurs. Now my grandson is. I'm taking FiberWise and spicy pork rinds
There
when
you
I go.
Glad we could help.
Just
You
saying.
get kicked out for chewing too loud.
I'm chewing too loud.
No,
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
okay,
no, I
yeah.
probably will. And it'll all come out. My mouth will be open. Oh my gosh, do you see that? I got to work on that. So don't forget to, almost said like us.
You do have to like us.
You do got to like us. Don't forget to like, share, and comment.
Mhm.
And please let us know your topics. What's great is I just got stopped out in the gym to talk about one. So that was awesome.
Oh, good.
So yeah, send us your topics. We can fill those in. Obviously, you know what we're talking about next week. Tune in, and you know what? Be mad the whole time,
Yep.
but it's probably
love ya.
We love you, and it'll be the best knowledge you learned. I'm just saying. Anyway, anything else? This was episode
5.
5.
5.
Breaking it down.
Yeah.
Episode 5. All right, we will see you next week.
Bye. Appreciate you.
Bye. Elevate Wellness.
Can't stop, won't stop. Where the brakes at? I give him that diddy bop. Like, take that, take that, take that, take that. I'ma put in work.